Hey, welcome back to Real Res Talk. My name is Sam. I'm joined by the Shreyas Singh, and we're here to preview Bournemouth. Shreyas, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I see Bournemouth at home on the fixture list, I get a little bit of PTSD because we lost in December 2023, 3-0. We lost in December 2024, 3-0. That's 2 years in a row. Bournemouth have come to us at the Old Trafford and turned it into a nightmare at the Theatre of Dreams. So they've not just beaten us, but they've battered us.
Yeah,
How are we feeling? Are we feeling any more positive going into this one? Are we feeling the same? Are we feeling more negative? How are we feeling?
I feel quite nervous because you just don't know what to expect from this team, in what fashion they're going to be turning up. Because I went into the West Ham game with a lot of confidence. I went into the Everton game with loads of confidence. But on the same hand, I went to Crystal Palace, believing that we'll lose. The last game as well, we went into that game believing that maybe we Wolves get their first win of the season against us, but you just don't know what to expect from this team. And on the same hand, Bournemouth, um, we know how they play. We know what to expect from them and how dangerous that they can be. But again, even they've been a bit inconsistent with results this year, I would say. I think they started the season off quite brightly. I think they had some incredible performances at the start of the season, but I think midway even they faltered a bit when it comes
Yeah.
to results. But um, I think United definitely have a shot, but it depends more on the fact as to which United side actually turns up against them.
Yeah, it's definitely a sort of 50-50, isn't it? Whether it sort of goes ahead or not. I've just realised I don't think we're live. Uh, yeah, it's recording, but it's not uploading. Let's figure
I
this out.
think we are.
Are we live? I can't see us on YouTube.
Yeah, because it shows on mine. It's popping up on mine.
I've just realised I don't think. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, no worries.
Yeah.
Carry on then. Forget what I said. Yeah, obviously United are a bit of not a mess, I would say, but we're not in the best of times, are we? We're not in the sort of best of form, I would say. So I think heading into this, I would be more comfortable had United shown a really good performance in the previous couple of games. Obviously, we beat Wolves, which is nothing to be sniffed at, but again, it's not the greatest sort of team to beat, is it, heading into this sort of game? I want to talk about Iriola. Iriola's been the sort of talk of the town for the last couple of years. He's been a really good manager. Like, he's shown what he could do with a budget and bring through young talent who've now been poached by the likes of Real Madrid and stuff. I've really liked his football. I think he plays really nice football. I think he does some really good things with a high press and he's chaotic and stuff. Do you think the shine's worn off a little bit? Like, they're currently winless in, I think, the last 4 games, going down the table. Semenyo has sort of gone off the boil a little bit. They look like they're lacking a bit of confidence. Does that sort of like give you a bit of an inkling to what this could happen, where this could go potentially?
Yeah, definitely it does a bit because if anything, we know how dangerous how good of a result Bournemouth have had in the past few seasons against United. But if you can catch them in their, in a bit of a lower trajectory, then I would say, how they started the season off. Like, even though I think, lost against Liverpool in the first game, they looked very decent in
Yep.
that game as well. They showed a lot of
Yep.
fight and were a bit unlucky, I would say. But you could still see that they played really good football and carried on for, at least the first 6 to 7 games. But I think now, we can see that there's definitely been a dip in their form. Maybe it has definitely got to do with players still trying to elevate their levels in that team, because there's definitely been a huge change up when it comes to their backline, some new additions into the team as well. But
Yep.
can he, again, can Ireola again be able to get a streak going like they did last season? And I think that is going to be big for him, because I think that's how you judge a manager. That
Yep.
when they definitely lose out on a chunk of their squad, and then they replace them with new players in, and they're still able to at least be in a similar position as to what they were the season before. I think
Yep.
that's when you start to be on the radar for all of the top clubs. That this guy, even though he's losing players on the constant every single season, he's still able to push this team to the next level. So I think this is a big testing time for him for sure. But if he can deliver, if he can get Bournemouth once again on a good run of games, I think not not saying United or some other club, but he'll definitely be in the radar of a lot of clubs.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Obviously, Anton Semenyo is the talk of the Bournemouth team, so I just want to sort of touch on him, but at the same time, touch on AFCON because he's potentially a guy who may not be here alongside with a lot of United players. Um, we look at sort of AFCON and the impact it's going to have. A lot of teams are playing this weekend, so Mo Salah, for example, will leave after today's game. But there's a lot of talk over United players who we don't know whether they're going to play for us on Monday or not. We still don't know. Right? We may not know until tomorrow. Anton Semenyo is another one of those. We'll touch on the United one shortly. But yeah, how much of a worry if he does play and he does stay? How much of a worry is he for you, like going into this? Because at the beginning of the season, he started on fire and he was scoring goals for fun and stuff. Obviously, he's had a little bit of a drop off. But yeah, how much of a worry is Anton Semenyo for you?
I think it's definitely a big worry because even if you look at it from United's perspective as well, I think our left hand side has been very inconsistent. When
Yeah,
you look at it defensively, I think we leak the most goals from that left hand flank. And um, if I see that match up with perhaps Luke Shaw and Antoine Semenyo, I think Semenyo has definitely got the upper hand. I think last season as well, when we played Bournemouth, Luke Shaw was all over the place against
yeah,
Semenyo. So he's definitely got that bit of confidence that the last time he played against him he did really well. And again, he's definitely a danger man. And on top of it, I think when you look at how versatile he is, that even mid games he's able to transition from the right side to the left side as a striker or even as a 10. He's able to create that factor of unpredictability in that Bournemouth attack. And
hmm
he's definitely the superstar of their attacking setup. Even and they've got definitely other players who do really well like Evan Nilsson, but Cloyvert, but a lot of them have been injured. A lot of them have been struggling to maintain their fitness, but he's still been going strong.
yeah,
And I think with the way he's been linked this summer itself to a lot of clubs, you can understand how much of a difficult player he can be when he is in form. So I
yeah.
think United definitely need to watch out if he is playing, because in certain moments when we do leave those half spaces in behind the midfield and the defensive line, players like Semenyo, make the most of those sort of spaces and opportunities.
Yeah, they are killers on the counter. Like the likes of, like we said, Semenyo. Otara is another one, but potentially
Yeah.
again he could be at AFCON. So again, potentially it could be without him. We'll touch on United now, and yes, I did say touch on Semenyo, Chivy.
Yeah.
Pause as always. There, he likes this. I'll put the innuendos there. It's likely the farewell game for the AFCON players if they do play, but if they don't play, we're going to be without the likes of Ahmad, going to be like without some Mazraoui, and most importantly, in my eyes, in Bumo. If we do lose these guys, how much of a drop in quality do you expect from us? Like, do you think that's going to be a serious issue if we don't have these available on Monday?
I think there's definitely going to be an issue because you've lost Maguire and Delict at the worst time, I would
Yep.
say. I think because Mizraoui used to come into that defensive line, it used to fill me with confidence that he's someone who gives you a consistent performance week in and week out, and he was class in that last game against Wolves as well.
hmm
So losing Mazraoui, and then you've also not got Maguire as well as Relict, you're not left with a lot of options. And considering Lisandro is just coming back into the team, I doubt Amorim is going to start him, especially in a game against Bournemouth, where it's going to be very physical, it's going to be very intense. So Shaw, Heaven, and perhaps Euro, but even Euro has been struggling a bit with confidence. So you're not, in the best of positions when you look at the players you're losing, because with Mazraoui coming in, it used to stabilize that backline a lot.
Yep.
So Mazraoui is definitely a big loss. On the same hand, Ahmad is also going to be a very big loss for us because no one can do the job that he does on the flanks. We've not got any other, winger or wing back, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
who does what Ahmad does. And we see how much we suffer when you've got Dallo or even Dorgu playing in one of those areas, because the way Ahmad is able to stretch the line, the way he knows when to cut inside, when he wants to overlap or make those inverted runs. And considering how much of a good partnership he's formed with Mbumo, you know, things really click for us on that right hand side. And losing him as well as Mbumo, it's definitely going to create a huge void in that right hand side area. But this is perhaps the best chance that Dorgu is ever going to get to actually get a run of games, or you could say actually show that he can be a part of this team. He can come into the team and deliver for us. Maybe he plays on the right hand side. I personally do like
Maybe.
him there because I think he pings a lot of crosses in there from that right hand side as an inverted wing back. But there's still a lot to be seen. But I think losing Ahmad as well as Mbumo as well as Mazraoui is going to be a loss, because Sesko is even just coming in. The
Yep.
biggest issue that we've got right now is the other players who are left, a lot of them are injured as well. So
Yep.
players who you might think that, okay, maybe Mbumo is not there, we go with Cunha, Mount, and Sesko. Oh, you know, Sesko is not around either. So you're left with Xerxes, and I don't think that it works when you've got Xerxes, Mount, and Cunha, because you're not leaving a lot of pace for you.
Hmm.
And Xerxes as well has been struggling with confidence as well as minutes. So it's going to be, I think it's definitely going to be tough for us to manage without them, but this could make or break our season. Like
Yeah.
honestly, the next few run of games when you've not got them, if you're still able to pull through with results, you're still in contention. You're still, giving yourself a good cushion to make it into the top five. But if you are not able to, that gap is only going to widen by the time these guys come back.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, yeah, we've got you sort of look at that and the drop off, and then I know you mentioned like injuries and stuff. Sesko is supposed to be back for this game, but apparently he's had an illness, so he may not be
Yeah,
available for this. So that's worrying. And then Mason Mount, I know he's been really good and he's had excellent forwards, but he's not exactly reliable injury wise, is he? It's just like, can he play game in, game out, game in, game out? Like, there's a worry there. So yeah, it's a tricky situation we find ourselves in with the sort of losing players to AFCON. But speaking of selections, should we go to the team lineups?
yep.
Let me just see if I can work this without it looking a little bit professional, but we shall see. Window, that one. Boom. Yes, did it correctly. Shreyas, talk us through your 11, mate.
Yeah, so I've gone with Le Mans in net because again, you cannot have Bindeer in there, and I think Le Mans has been decent. Euro, Heaven, and Shaw because they're practically the only ones that you've got, and I don't think that he's going to be starting Lissandro anytime soon. I think he's going to ease him into the team. Uh, Dallo and Doru are the only ones again, the only ones that you've got who can play in those positions. So that's it. Casemiro and Bruno in the middle. They pick themselves, and I think Cunha, Mount, and Xerxes because I think Cunha was a lot better than he played in the
Yep.
game against Everton, and I think against Wolves he definitely stepped up. Mount has been exceptional.
Yes.
I think he's been one of our more underrated players this season who's done really well, and not just because he got the goal against Wolves, but also his off the ball movement, the way he presses, the way he ventures into the midfield to provide more shape and stability to it. I think Mount is very integral to the way we play.
Mhm.
Um, Xerxes, I have picked because I think you still, at least with Xerxes, you've got someone as a focal point in there, at least someone who can hold up the ball, and it's going to be perhaps Xerxes' best ever chance now. If he can get the job done, because now that Mbumo is gone as well,
And
he's a,
Sesko's waiting in the wings as well. Like
exactly.
he's on the way back.
If he can step up for you in the next 2 to 3 games, maybe he's able to secure his future at United. But if not, I don't think that he's ever going to get as good of a chance to make his case to be in this team. But I think this is perhaps what you can make up from the players that you've got left.
Yeah. Dan, no, Ahmad is not available because he will be at AFCON potentially.
Yeah.
He's with the Ivory Coast, so he is not available either. So, yeah, a lot of players missing. I've gone for quite a different lineup just because I want to see a bit of experimentation because I think we need to test some stuff and like we're being without these players. So I've chucked Martinez back in because I think he's had some minutes now. If he's not going to be ready, we need him more than ever right now, especially with his press resistance and his ability to switch and his passing.
Yeah.
So I've put Shaw left wing back because Dorgu has had some disappointing performances for me. I'm not really happy with what I've seen, so I'll put Shaw there. Dallo at right wing back because, like I said, we've got no Ahmad. And Dallo has stepped up, to be fair. Last 2 games, he's been pretty good.
In the past 2 games, yeah.
I'll cut him a break. I've stuck Manu in there just because I want to see Manu play. Casemiro, I've pushed Bruno up for the right-hand side in the 10. I've put Mount on the other side and I've put Cunha up top. Like you said, Cunha has had a good game. Xerxes, I'm not really sort of 100% sure on there. So I've switched it around quite a bit. I don't think I'll see this team personally, but let's see. Like Amram doesn't like to change too much, does he? Let's be honest. So it's let's see. We do have to say though as well, like if players are available and are not going to AFCON that day, you could well see a very different team.
Yeah,
we're trying to guess because nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows right now. So let's just go with that. Right, Shreyas, prediction time. We've lost this game twice, 3-0 in the last 2. The doom and gloom part of my brain is really, really worried, especially with some of the performances we've put in lately. The first half against Wolves was terrible. Second half, a lot better, but Wolves are absolutely terrible. What do you think? What are you going with? Does the curse end, or are we going to see a similar story?
I think it will be a draw, personally.
Okay.
Because, like, we've seen Bournemouth have been struggling with results as well, and United haven't been consistent with their results either, but I don't see them losing. I think we'll give them a fight, but I just don't think that either team is in the best possible situation right now going into this game.
Yep. What's the score then? What
I think 1-1.
1-1? Not seeing much goals in this game?
No.
Interesting. Right. I think I'm going to go for a draw as well. I think I see goals though, because we can't keep a clean sheet to save our lives.
I don't know why, but yeah.
we concede every game for some reason. And I think Bournemouth have also conceded quite a few games. They seem a bit leaky at the back. So yeah, I think we're gonna 2-2. Nick's favourite score, a Desmond 2-2.
Yeah.
I think we get 2-2. And a draw's not, I suppose it's not the worst result, but it is a bit disappointing, isn't it? Like we're predicting draws just to sort of get
in
through
hindsight, when you look at it from, when you're completely zoned out and then you look at our results, you go, well, it makes sense. We've not got that player, and midfield and that. We've only got an 11. We don't have enough quality. It makes sense as to why we are where we are, but it just it becomes disappointing that we've got so much room and we've got such a good opportunity to move ahead in the table, but we've just not got enough right now. And when you look at it financially, when you look at it with the players that you've got, because of the system we play and the players you've got, it's just not enough.
If we had Mbumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui, would you predict a win, or would it still be a draw?
I would. Going into this game, I would, because I think that last game against Wolves really helped their confidence, with goals. I think, and Mbumo is that sort of a player that, once he gets going, he seems to get going. That's what happened at the start of the season, that, when he started scoring, he, actually started scoring week in and week out. So I think if we had all of them, I would be very, very much more confident, especially with, that back line and pretty much their entire right-hand side, because Ahmad and Mbumo, they are both tremendous losses for us.
Yeah. And that left, they just don't use that left-hand side either, do it? Like, it's just dead. It's literally dead, which is seriously worrying. But yeah, keep an eye on our socials for the latest news, like when we do find out if they're staying for AFCON, if they're going to go before then. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Sandro Charger, any chance for Lacey? Definitely not. Just Amrim just does not want to play this kid, no matter what. Like, we're 3-1 up against Wolves. He didn't put him on. Like, that is the perfect time to do it, and he did do it. So I don't see it, but I hope he surprises us. I really do, because I would love to see the kid. I'd love to see him play. But yeah, keep an eye on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Blue Sky are on there, all that good stuff. Keep an eye on here. If you're new here and you're watching this later, leave a comment, leave your score prediction and your team prediction in the comments for us, and we will definitely reply. Nick will be back tomorrow with a Sunday social, so please do keep your eye out for that. Subscribe if you're new, and me and Shreyas will see you another day. Peace.